What is going on, guys? Someone World from Some Legends here, back with another big video for you all today. As you guys know, last year I did two big videos where I talked about my favorite movies of all. I pretty much update my list of my favorite movies of all time. Talking about the one movie I absolutely love the most out of like so many films. And of course, I recently finally did my list of my favorite video games of all time. So I figured, why not do the same, but with TV shows. So I think I also did that list back in 2018. So, but considering time and honestly, I probably would have gotten on before, but just life and so. So I figured now would be perfect time for me to finally do my list on selecting my personal favorite TV shows of all time. I debated whether it was gonna be like a top 100 list or whatever, but yeah. So I'm gonna do what I did originally, top of my top 50. Again, there are definitely obviously a lot of shows that came in. My list has definitely changed a lot since my original list. So it was definitely a lot made. And the biggest change is that for this video, I am not going to be including any anime or reality shows. That way the list can have a little more variety to it. I'm sure some of the shows I'll probably talk about and spoilers, some of the Disney Channel, Nickelodeon shows will be on this list. But I just the list will have a little more variety and not be obvious, I figured. It makes more sense for me to actually not include like Survivor, Big Brother, The Amazing Race, The Traitors, Hell's Kitchen. That will probably be on the list. Same with a lot of the anime I watched, like My Hero Academia and Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just so the list can have a little more variety. Obviously, anime shows will be allowed here, but and eventually I do might plan on making videos on those as well. So stay tuned. That can be away. So yes, I will be doing my list on my video does not include any reality shows. Just so that'd be a little bit fair, honestly. So, anyways, got a lot of shows to talk about, so let's get to it. These are just my personal favorite TV shows of all time. The shows that for me personally, love. Me personally. And again, I've not seen every TV show in existence, honestly. If I not make this video and try to watch every TV show, I probably would take forever to get this video out. And it's been 5 years since I've done this. Like 6 years since when I get this out, but yeah, I think it makes sense. So yeah, this is definitely more of an update list, honestly. So I hope you all enjoy, guys. Anyways, I'd love to know what are your favorite TV shows down in the comment section. And if there's a show on this list you think I should watch, definitely let me know down below. So because as always, before we get to the actual top 50, let's get into the 50 honorable mentions. The shows that I loved. I just did. We get to the hundreds of honorable mentions. Hundreds, which I think like fit. But here's the honorable mentions, and they are DuckTales 2017, Over the Gone, Futurama, Hannibal, The Haunting of Hill House, Santa Clarita Diet, Rick and Morty, The Owl House, X-Men 97, Severance, The Penguin, Ted Lasso, Class of 3000, The Amazing World of Gumball, Wizards of Waverly Place, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, The Mandalorian, Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Justice League the Original, The Looney Tunes Show, Flapjack, Codenames Next Door, Dexter's Laboratory, Infinity Train, Primal, Tom and Jerry, Invincible, Shameless, The Big Bang Theory, Two and a Half Men, The King of Queens, The Originals, American Dad, Family Guy, The Simpsons, South Park, Barry, Batman Beyond, Arrow, Deadwood, Dexter, Game of Thrones, and How Much Mother. Yes, that's Game of Thrones being on this list, probably going to be controversial, but let's be honest, it was the fact that shows ended terribly. How much, I'll be honest, if How Much You Mother Game of Thrones ended a lot better, they actually would be up on like top 25, top 20, honestly, but those endings really sad the experience. So unfortunately, they're not on this list. Kim Possible, Mooned Up, Go Up Dinosaur, Wonder Over Yonder, Total Drama, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and Andor. All fantastic shows. Just did not end up making the actual list. So yeah, we got 50 shows to talk about, so let's get on, shall we? Now, similar to my TV shows, there are some shows that, some entries where there's going to be a tie on this list. And either because I intentionally forgot to put a show on the list, or because they're very similar, I feel like they make it necessary. And again, have lists have a little more variety to it, just to give a heads up. Again, very similar to what I did in my top 100 movies of all time list. And we're going to start with the first tie in number 50. As well, these shows are telling two entirely different shows, like vastly different shows. Both of them telling like graphic novel comic book shows. With the first one I'm talking about number 50 is The Boys, and the second one is by a landslide the best Disney Plus MCU show, Loki. And two facts with The Boys, one of those shows that's very satirical and very in your face, but it's a show that delivers really great characters, fantastic action pieces, a great commentary that isn't like too in your face about it, and really delivers on the great characters and the emotion and the shockiness of what goes on. Like there are some OMG shock-worthy moments that they aren't just for shock value, at least. I mean, and in 4 seasons, they actually do deliver. Gen V was even a good season, and well, Blaze season is probably my weakest season so far. It's still a show that's, at least in my opinion, has been very consistent. And that's, yeah, I'm pretty sure I hope it end on a high note. And then we have Loki, which, yeah, season 1 was definitely great, but season 2 was on a whole nother level with the emotion it does to Loki. Like, it's definitely one of the most underappreciated things that Marvel's ever done. Like, takes you on an emotional ride from beginning to end and just kind of be invested in what goes on. And that ending and what they treat Loki and makes him such a more compelling character than ever, just wow. So yeah. So that's weird about these shows that I tell you, but The Boys and Loki are still really great shows. And now we get to the first sitcom on this list. And number 49 and number 48 are two sitcom-related shows on this list, with number 49 being George Lopez. A show that when I first saw has always been a show I've always rewatched back to. And when I actually ended up getting on the actual list, I don't remember if it was on honorable mentions or not, but it's one of the shows that I'm surprised I didn't end up actually putting on the actual list. Again, though, it's probably because there's some out there sometimes you're unintentionally forgetting that show, and because autistic doesn't help either. But George Lopez is a very consistently hilarious show. I think it really rises because of George Lopez's incredible charisma, and one because that's what you expect from a sitcom. It's a show that does have consistent characters, very hilarious moments, and it's really good touching and heartwarming at a lot of points. Again, George Lopez definitely proves that he's a great comedian in this show. And then we have Community. Community, which, again, the first 3 seasons alone know why this show is on this list. Obviously, it still does have season 4, which is basically the gas leak season, which, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a terrible season, but it's by a landslide the weakest. And definitely season 5 and 6 end up being much better seasons. But the first 3 seasons are just incredible sitcom television, with uniqueness to the storytelling, hilarious moment after hilarious moment. Great character moment, charming, some of the most charming characters you'll ever meet in any sitcom. But of course, it has very consistent hilarious moments, but also very touching and heartwarming moments as well. It shows you can help but just have a big grin on your face when you watch it. And definitely shows, but obviously those have to be separate, but they are really great shows to watch if you somehow haven't. Consistently hilarious, but also consistently heartwarming. And now we get to the first of Disney shows to make this list. Again, I talk about some of these shows when I did my best Cartoon Network shows, my best Disney Channel animated sitcom shows, and best Nickelodeon shows. And again, spoiler, some of the shows will make this list. And we get to the first one on this list, and that is Big City Greens at number 47. Again, another show that's very consistently heartwarming and hilarious. I believe this is currently on its 4th season, and also had a movie that came out earlier this year that I think is actually pretty consistently good, which is a musical, which also was surprisingly good. I think the show is very consistent with its characters, with its humor. It really lives the greatness of what you expect from a Disney Channel animated show. I can say with Disney Channel, but in terms of animation, they always kill it. Big Greens, no exception. And again, not the only Disney animated show you'll see on this list. And at 46, we get to the newest show to have made this list, and that is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is the new recent show to make this list. And it's written on number 46. Again, And it's new because obviously I've actually watched Buffy for the first time this year. I know, shocker. You haven't watched Buffy until now? I don't know, even I'm shocked, honestly. And yeah, I can definitely see why Buffy is as beloved as it is. Yeah, I feel like the show probably would be, in theory, really should be a little higher, but I feel like it's a show I probably would have appreciated more when it came out, because it does feel kind of dated in some areas. And Xander, but it's a show that I absolutely did enjoy watching. It does have fantastic. Aside from Xander, has very fantastic characters. Buffy is one of the best protagonists in any show I've ever seen. Probably one of the best female protagonists, and how you do one. Also, how you do a badass protagonist right, people. Willow's also a great character. A lot of the great love interest. There are great storylines that go for this season. All the different ways to go about it. It's a show that overall is very consistent. Just very consistent with its quality, and definitely has its up and downs, obviously, but it's consistent with its action, it's consistent with the character, the majority of the character writing. It's a show that honestly kind of beats me that I finally watched, that I only just started watching it, but I'm happy I finally did. And next year I do, and also next year I do plan on watching Angel for the first time as well, so stay tuned with that. And now at 45, it's definitely a show that definitely is a show that's kind of the definition of a show that is self-obsessed, but it's a show that, despite something else I've sincerely loved, and that's Stranger Things, which I think is actually, if I remember correctly, the show is actually a lot lower than actually it was. I think it's actually was in the top 20 on my last list. It's not that the show got down for me, it's just a lot of shows just gone up for me. And I don't think I even mentioned Stranger Things. Again, one of those shows that I always said the first season is still the best. I'm someone that honestly easily enjoys the other seasons, even though they are kind of flawed in some areas, and they are far away from the shows that they used to be. But being especially with the grand scale and everything, but it's a show that I still consistently love. I still like the characters, I still like the mistakes aspects to it, the action, the back and forth between all the characters. A show that really was influenced on sleep, but in the best possible way. It's a show that is just I always enjoy watching, even with all the ups and downs it has after season 1. And now we get to the next title on this list at number 44. And we get to 2 more studio shows on this list. And both of them actually are shows that were CW Arrowverse shows. Well, one technically is kind of Arrowverse adjacent, but at number 44 we got my favorite techno Arrowverse show, Legends of Tomorrow, and tied with Superman and Lois. Which again is an Arrowverse adjacent show, because I think it was connected to Arrowverse originally, but the villain in season 2 that's actually on a different Earth, so... Besides that, these are 2 shows that are still fantastic. Legends of Tomorrow is definitely a show that honestly is probably the most consistent, in my opinion, the most consistent show of the Arrowverse. Like, it's kind of unfortunate the show didn't have like a proper ending, but this show that overall is very consistent with its quality. Like, it's definitely a show that really just knows what it is and just embraces the comedy, embraces the characters, embracing the crazy shenanigans, and it does go in pretty crazy directions, but in the best possible way. And the characters do remain consistently good throughout. Stan especially is now one of my favorite Everest characters because of this show. And then we have Superman and Lois, which is a show that I remember being shocked at how good it was. Honestly, it's a show that also is very consistent. And like most of the other CW Arrowverse shows, it actually ends properly and ends one of the most beautiful endings, which definitely cements it to where it is on this list. I think Houch, in my opinion, fight me on this, is the best Superman that we have gotten. Find me on that. You know, got the best Lois Lane here as well. The acting is great. The kids are great. The action is great. Like, it delivers on what you want from a Superman show. And obviously, the people involved here really knew that. When I actually goes into the morality of Superman. And I've never been like the biggest Superman fan, but between this and My Adventures Superman, which is a show that actually will also be an honorable mention, show that, hey, if it's done right, Superman can actually be a compelling character. Not just a big, hulking, powerful, invincible person. I hope I said that right, but yeah, these are all fantastic shows. And we get to a now rewatchable show on this list at number 43, and that is Reba. The show based on Reba, show that basically has Reba McEntire, the amazing country singer. And this is one of the shows that you wouldn't think about it, really has no right to be as good as it was. I think a lot of that just really thanks to the cast itself and what they go through. And all of that basically thanks to also Reba's incredible charisma. Like, who knew someone Reba actually could be an incredible actress? And she displays a lot of amazing moments as an actress in terms of being a very interesting character, but also being someone that's very feisty and it's just someone that's just hilarious. And the other characters like Cheyenne, Van, Brock, Barbara Jean, all some of my favorite Simon characters of all time. They actually go through very emotional arcs throughout the season. One season actually do grow a lot throughout the show. But again, the show is very consistent, hilarious, has some incredible back and forth moments. And it's just so you can help us smile whenever. It's probably one of the more, like, it's almost a definition of a comfort sitcom. Now, this is definitely a show that only has one season so far. It's a show that either could climb up the rankings at the next season or not. But we have HBO's The Last of Us, which of course is my opinion, the best video game adaptation of all time by a landslide. Like, this is very much how you do video game adaptations right now. So definition of proof that, hey, maybe into the making video games adaptations, we should make them TV shows instead, because at least we'll have more time to actually develop the world and the characters. And while this basis kind of mostly before thing with the original, it does it in an incredibly effective way, and something that made me appreciate Last of Us so much more. And the acting is fantastic. I think the character writing is so great. The little stuff that they do add in here, I think, really adds a lot to the games. And honestly, season 2 is probably my most anticipated show with this 2025. Whenever it comes out, because I don't know what's coming out as I'm filming this. Because I don't know when it's coming out as I'm filming this, but considering how controversial part 2 is, it's going to be interesting. So, yeah, great stuff. And then we're going to show I haven't really thought of in a while, but it's the show that I still absolutely love, and that is Code Lyoko. You guys remember Code Lyoko? Yeah, I remember the show. I rewatched some episodes recently. It's like, yeah, this show's so good. A show that has good animation, great stakes, really great character writing, really interesting lore throughout the show. It's one of those shows I don't think never really misses and has great characters, great moments throughout. Just kind of enjoy the storytelling. It has a really consistently good story throughout with good arcs and great action all around. Again, I've not watched the entire show in a while, so maybe it could have been a whole lot. But again, I don't have time to watch every show in existence. As a whole, Code Lyoko, great stuff. And at number 40, we get to a show that actually I had only 2 seasons, but it's definitely one of those very underappreciated shows, and that is Fleabag. Which was a show that I remember, again, another show that one of the shows that fellow YouTuber Flames Face Ninja actually did a video on. I was like, I should probably watch this after watching the video. I'm like, yeah, it's as good as this person says it is, because it's definitely one of the most unique shows on this list, mostly because of how it's structured and how the character is pretty much an asshole and all that stuff, and they're a person, but you end up being entranced by a lot of these characters and the different emotions and what they go through. It's probably only 2 seasons. It's definitely one of the shows that just never overstays its welcome. It's rare to have one of the shows that actually has just 2 seasons and just ends, but does it in a very fascinating way, and the performances are great. Phoebe Waller-Bridge acts the shit out of the show, whether it be from a directing point to also a writing point as well. Like, the dialogue is so witty and so interesting and entrancing. And one of those like very easy bits because it's only like 2 seasons, 12 episodes, which is insane that we actually have one of those shows that's like that. But yeah, Fleabag, if you have not checked out, I do recommend it. And now at 39 and 30 and 37, we actually get to 3 animated shows in a row. So I think it makes sense to start talking about them all in a row. And I have talked about these shows in previous videos, so I'm probably not going to get too much like that. With number 39, I have Regular Show, which is any but for a reason. Like, it's a show that's insane, but it's a show that's endlessly fun, rewatchable. Number 38, Camp Lazlo, probably, in my opinion, one of the more underrated shows of all time. I'm not sure what it'd be like this show being this low, but number 37, I have SpongeBob SquarePants. It really, this is probably, I kind of wish I put SpongeBob much higher on this list. I think it actually wasn't, a top 20 in my original ranking. But I think just obviously, the inconsistency of the show and the up and down inconsistency of the show, and the show is like it's still going on 20 years later. It's like, yeah, considering the inconsistency in some episodes and portions, I can't really put it any higher, but these are all still great shows that I have so much nostalgia for. And now we go to another underappreciated show at 36, and that is The Leftovers, which is what I remember an old movie friend of mine recommended me so much, so I finally decided to watch it a while back, and I feel like it's a show I do definitely need to rewatch at some point. But I feel like it's going to be on HBO, and it's definitely one of those shows that I feel you should go and not know much about it. Like it's a show again, like after a global event that happens, and after some global event that happens, it involves a lot of crazy stuff that happens, and we I just recommend it. It's definitely not an easy show to watch for sure, but it's a show that's definitely worth watching. Again, I recommend not knowing much about it going into it, but Leftovers is definitely worth watch. And now to go to a show that as a film is actually going to finally get a new season in 2025, and that is Daredevil. Granted, the show's finally going to get an actual continuation next year, which is insane if you really think about it. But yeah, this really set the tone for the modern Netflix shows for better for worse. It's a show that's by three seasons. I think all 3 seasons are great. Great, having some of the most insane, incredible action set pieces in any comic book TV show you ever witnessed. Charlie Cox delivering an incredible performance as Daredevil. The great rapport between all the characters, a lot of the villains. Like Kingpin is still one of the best villains in any comic book media ever. With Vincent D'Onofrio absolutely killing it, and there's a reason why they end up kind of bringing it back in the other shows. And I'm definitely excited to see what else they do with Kingpin, because yeah, he's such an incredible, compelling character. And the characters they bring, like we have the Punisher and Elektra and all stuff, and Bullseye. This show is still consistently great, especially season 3, which is easily the best season of them on Netflix shows. So yeah, I hope they really knock it out of the park with one again. And now, at number 34, 33, and 32, we're going to get into like 3 different shows in a row that are definitely some of the most different, unique shows out there. With well, not being as one, but number 34 is Parks and Recreation, which is a show I think a few years ago I watched for the first time. Yeah, those definitely some shows that I did end up watching for the very first time. And it's definitely one of those shows where I think season 1 is a bit rough, but mostly because it kind of feels like just the Office and everything, but then like, at season 2, they realized the tone of what they wanted to go for with the show and the characters, and it's just consistently good from there on. So they have some of the most hilarious characters I've seen in any sitcom. Some very touching, humbling moments and some great back and forths throughout. It's a genuinely touching show. Where it has some of the best relationships in any show. And just after season 1 is basically very consistent. Then 33 we have The Good Place. The Good Place, which I remember watching when it first aired. And it's like it's truly one of the most unique shows out there. Honestly, of course, being a show where someone ends up being sent to the wrong place, and all the back and forth that goes on and stuff. And season 1 has one of the best twists of all time, in my opinion, in a TV show. And daily after that, it still gets consistently good with the concepts and the characters and what they are going through. Went through and all the crazy shenanigans that goes on and exploring a lot of depth to these characters. And again, that show that's just very consistent. I'll say that number 32 was a show I almost forgot about for some reason. I don't know how. I don't know if I remember in the show on my actual original list, but number 32 is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is a show that basically has a black guy who basically is kind of an unlikable character, but the actor that plays her is just so charismatic, can't help but love her. And she goes through one of the most compelling arcs in any show ever, where she actually does grow out her obsession with the person she has been following. And also mention the show is a musical, and they somehow always kill it with the music every time. Theoretically, this show I think in some areas should be a lot higher, honestly. Again, this wasn't easy, honestly, but in the end, it's Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We guys have not checked out Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. What the hell are you doing? I'm also going to mention the 31, which is Dark, which is another show that I would say I also recommend not knowing much about it. But yeah, it's a show that's definitely worth watching. And now I'm getting to a recent show on this list on number 30, and that is The Bear. Definitely a pretty harrowing show. Again, I think the only reason why it's not high because it only has 2 seasons at the moment, but The Bear so far has been incredibly consistent with its quality. Like, it's not one of those shows that can easily draw much higher as time goes on, so I mean, we'll see how that goes. Bad the Bear is a definitely great show that really delivers on the emotion it delivers. Jimmy Allen White delivered one hell of a performance, great characters, and some incredibly uniquely directed episodes. Like, I don't even know what Steve Bear hasn't already been said. It's critically acclaimed for a goddamn reason. And I'll get to a show I actually watched for the first time I think this year or last year, and that is Cheers. Yes, it took me so long, but I finally watched Cheers for the first time, and it is the pure definition of a comfort show. If I have 11 seasons, is that one of the few sitcoms by going off 11 seasons? I don't think it ever really hits like a true lull. Honestly, which, considering, most sitcoms that go off this long is actually pretty surprising. But yeah, most of it works really thanks to the characters and the situations they end up getting themselves into. Like, the first 5 seasons especially are some of the best sitcom television ever. Maybe, and while the other seasons don't really hit the huge highs of those seasons, they're still pretty consistent. So yeah, it just shows that you just go and just chill and just enjoy yourself. And it goes that theme song. Sometimes you gotta go where everybody knows your name. And now we're gonna hit 4 Cartoon Network shows in a row, which I wasn't expecting, but again, I've already talked about this show that they do a top 10 best Cartoon Network shows earlier this year. It's up by 9 years on YouTube, so I'm not gonna watch his shows. Again, check out that video, guys, one of my full thoughts. But at 28, we got Craig at the Creek, 27, Samurai Jack, 26, Chowder, and 25, Justice League Unlimited. All shows that are very nostalgic for me and all generally fantastic shows with some hilarious moments, emotional moments, and very heartwarming moments. Pretty much what makes Cartoon Network so good in the first place, since we can't really pay me how well Cartoon Network's unfortunately gotten. And now 24, 23, we're going to do 2 beloved sitcoms in a row, with 24 being The Office. Okay, The Office is definitely not the most consistent show that has reached this time, mostly because of the last 2 seasons. But it's definitely one of those shows that, honestly, when it's good, it gets really good. It has some of the best episodes of any sitcom ever. Like, I'm not sure what to say about Outside right second. I was a little late to the point on the show, but I'm happy I finally watched it. And then number 23, we have Everybody Loves Raymond, which is probably the definition of a comfort sitcom for me, and definitely one of the most rewatchable shows on this list. I mean, seeing the shenanigans of Ray Romano, why he has to deal with his family and everything. You just can't help but smile when he's on screen. You also have some of the best supporting characters in any sitcom. Like, it just really does a good job of making you laugh, but also heating your feels. And now we get to another animated show at number 22, and that is Batman the Animated Series. Again, I did rewatch a few episodes earlier this year, and I totally forgot how good this show is. And there's definitely not bad about being much higher, but again, I've not rewatched the entire show. Again, I don't have time to watch every single show out there, so yeah, but Batman Animated Series is a classic for a damn reason. It still hits the same beats. It's still one of the best Batman adaptations ever for a goddamn reason. Some of the best adaptations of these characters for good reason. What else can I say? And now we'll go to another Cartoon Network show, and that is Courage the Cowardly Dog. The things I do for love. I always, well, so often, but Courage the Cowardly Dog, fantastic. It's one of those Cartoon Network shows I feel it actually gets better with time, actually. It's definitely one of the most scary shows, and especially being a kid's show, it's definitely how creepy it is. Like, I remember some of the secrets, I was like, oh my god. I'm pretty sure there's haunted a lot of people's kids, but yeah. Consistently hilarious, consistently scary, and consistently rewatchable. Well, we have reached the top 20 people. Hope you all have enjoyed this ranking so far. Now, again, be sure to let me know your thoughts on all the shows down in the comment section. Let me know what are your favorite TV shows. Let me know if any shows on the list they think I should watch. Again, this is a lot of shows I have not unfortunately seen. This is an update Let's 2018, so yeah. But anyways, coming in number 20, we got Cobra Kai. Again, it's kind of surprising how good Cobra Kai ended up being. I'm pretty sure nobody expected the show to be as good as it was. Mostly because it actually was a YouTube Red series. I'm like, really? For YouTube Red series, you're basically getting a continuation of the Karate Kid? Having the original actors playing the roles, like, I'm pretty sure nobody had much faith in the show, honestly. But for episode 1, you're like, oh my god, this show's actually good! Mostly because it focuses on the perspective of Johnny Lawrence. And the thing I always like about Cobra Kai, honestly, is that at least in early seasons, it actually makes you appreciate the original so much more. As well, the original has always been a classic. I'm pretty sure people love it so much more after the show. Hell, it makes you appreciate part 2 and part 3 so much more, actually. Because then It brings back a lot of characters from those seasons, and it kind of improves on them actually, like Terry Silver especially. Right now, you got great fight sequences, you got really great character development. You got Daniel Russo and Johnny Lawrence are really have a really good back and forth with each other. Even the kids have funny characters, have great moments. Yeah, there might be some points where they kind of like teeter towards back toward those arcs. Most also, in final season, because as I'm filming this, as I'm filming this, season 3 hasn't been filmed, hasn't been released yet. Finals in the game are currently movie this year, so yeah. So maybe I should have went on a bit too long, but the highs are still incredibly high. Has so many incredible moments, and definitely another very endlessly watchable show. I can always see myself come back to. Hell, this year I basically did videos where basically I talk about my favorite moments from every season. That's how much I enjoyed the show. Say Cobra Kai, great stuff. Speaking of shows that are endlessly watchable, we got Everybody Hates Chris. And I don't remember if I actually put this show on my original list. I think it was actually a bit lower than it was in top 20. But again, it's another show that's very endlessly watchable. It's one show that has a great cast to it, has pretty good situations, has pretty lazy narrative, has some of the most hilarious sequences in any sitcom you ever see. And because it's Chris Rock. Chris Rock is an incredible comedian. He delivers it with so much good way. They can't help but love going back to the show. As I'm filming this, they filmed the anime reboot, Everybody Still Hates Chris, and it's surprisingly good. So, yeah, this show still slaps. And now we go to another animated show, and a Disney Channel animated show. Again, another show that's very endlessly watchable, and that is Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb, Phineas and Ferb. And again, another one of those shows that had no right to be as good as it was. Especially when pretty much majority of episodes basically follow the same formula. They always find new and inventive ways to actually advance that formula. As a show that basically has, Vince building invention, Keanu trying to bust them in some way, Duper and then the Platypus, and then this team ends up basically kind of stopping the invention of going away all of a sudden. But yeah, Phineas and Ferb is a hilarious and rewatchable show, and I still dream a lot of the music to this very day. So yeah, it definitely belongs to this, and I'm actually very excited to see what more episodes they bring. I know they can actually continue the show, apparently, so we'll see if it continues on the same good quality. Now, 17, we actually have another tie on, so I think the second last tie here is a show that I actually almost got to put in this ranking, but both of them are animated superhero shows. One kind of different in tone, but also great ones. But the first one being Teen Titans, which again is one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows, and also a very watchable show that I always look back to. A lot of moments in the show still live rent free in my head, with great character development, pretty dark and emotional moments, especially in the later seasons. Again, it's another show that honestly is just incredibly consistent with the characters and the episodes. Also having historical action as well. And the next show is Harley Quinn, which is another show that I don't think has any right to be as good as it was. Of all the DC shows out now, this is one of the shows I was excited for. I think mostly because they're being R rating and Kelly Croker playing the character. But this show is another show that's actually, in my opinion, very consistent. It's consistently hilarious, uses pop culture references very well, does a great job with relationships, especially with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. Has a great supporting cast itself. Has a really great inventive way of storytelling. Goes for stuff that you probably wouldn't expect any of these characters to go to, especially with Bruce Wayne, which I'm not going to spoil, but yeah, if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. As I film this, I think the show's going to have its 5th season at the start of this year. And again, so far the show has really been very consistent. Hell, I might even do some episode rankings and show next year, so I'll stay tuned for that. But yeah, Harley Quinn definitely is a show that I always enjoy coming back to, and it's also a very consistent hilarious show and uses R rating so incredibly well. And now we get to one of my personal favorite Nickelodeon sitcom, then I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to be one of the only people on planet Earth that probably has a show this high up on the list, and that is Big Time Rush. I'm not sure if I'm the only person that's had this show to where it is here, but yeah, it's another show that is very consistent with its quality. Again, it's a very like in your face, over the top show, but in the best possible way. It works thanks to the incredible characters and the crazy pranks what they are going through, and the crazy shenanigans they are going through, and a lot of the crazy stuff, and the line deliveries, and having great music and great dancing and music videos. It's just an all-around great show that I always enjoy coming back to. And it's where I got my sprinkling positivity thing from. Sprinkling positivity, which is, for you know, this is kind of my thing with Lisa. I do this where I sprinkle positivity on people, and everyone loves it. And I got it from this show. Watch the also pretend test, and you'll know what I'm about. And now we go to another one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows, and that is The Great Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Again, that Cartoon Network show actually is very consistent with its quality. Maybe the latest seasons aren't as funny, but it's a show that still is consistently hilarious. And it's one of the shows that just knows what it is with the characters and the weirdness and just embraces it. The characters never get annoying, the characters never get too, ah. But it's a show that always just puts a big grin on my face, and I can't help but just laugh out loud and have a good time whenever I go back to an episode. And we get to another favorite sitcom of mine, number 14, that is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I believe this actually is a lot higher actually than what I put in my original list. And that's honestly a show that honestly gets better with time. It's a show that honestly has gotten a lot better for me. And what made again, it's another show that's very consistent with quality, very consistently hilarious. A show that always puts a big grin on my face when I watch it. Has some of the most hilarious gags, and any show you ever has an incredible cast of characters. And one show that even after, you know, get canceled and revived, it never lost its charm. It never lost the greatness that it had. Yeah, so at least for me, it's a show that honestly I never lost its luster, and it's been very consistent in quality in my opinion. And just a definition of a comfort show. Now, at number 13, we got a show that I watched for the first time last year, if I remember correctly, and that is Succession. Yeah, it took me last year, but I finally watched Succession for the first time. Which again is a show that I'm surprised I didn't watch it first recently, because it's definitely one of the shows that definitely is worthy of all the praise it has gotten. It's consistently great for all 4 seasons. Has some of the most like morally complex characters you'll ever come across in any form of media. Which, when at the best, HBO is always so great at doing that type of stuff. Where they're always great at making characters that are like morally complex, and you're like so invested in them. And Succession is definitely one of the best efforts. A show I know has a low point. These 4 especially have some of the most surprising moments out there. I don't think there's any reason why it's on number 13. It's just, you know, other shows on this list are better, but Succession is still a fantastic show. And now at number 12, we get to one of the most iconic sitcoms of all time. That is Friends, which is actually a show that I think was my top 10 originally. I think it was actually a little, I don't remember where it was my top 10, but I think it was like number 3 or 4 if I remember correctly. Again, but again, it's not one of those cases where it didn't like go low. Just a lot of shows went high, honestly. But yeah, Friends. What can I say? I also do plan on doing like a episode ranking series on the show at some point, so stay tuned with that. So I'll tell about the show till then. And now the show that just missed the top 10, actually going to be a lot higher than my original list, and that is Natty Classified Soul Survival Guide. And it's definitely putting the show number 11, considering, you know, all the controversy that's gone through this show, honestly, with the cast and everything. Like, I don't even know about all that stuff actually very recently, by the way, guys, so it's that weird talking about this show, honestly, talking about how amazing it is. Because it is a very nostalgic show for me. I watched the show constantly growing up. It's a show that does me a lot. Like looking back, I don't know if I actually would want a reboot, honestly, but it's definitely a show that has a lot of great aspects to it, with the characters and the chemistry and the back and forth between all the characters. Has one of the best supporting characters ever, Actually using health information using really good health information that I actually used. I learned a lot in my life, so it's a show that honestly holds close with my heart. And now, kicking off top 10, we got the last tie on this list, because honestly, I can't really stop picking these 2 shows I like more, honestly. And that's both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Like, honestly, I think for a while I had Better Call Saul better, but honestly, looking back, I really can't decide which of these shows I really like more. Like, I don't know what I say, but Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul hasn't already been said. It's that weird that shows in the top, just in number 10, honestly, because I know a lot of people have it like top 5 now. Some people have Breaking Bad as their favorite show of all time. And obviously, obviously, it's still in the top 10, obviously. It's definitely not one of the shows I got into very late, unfortunately, but it's one of the shows that, honestly, I'm glad I finally got into. Again, don't know what to say about our mistake, but both these shows are phenomenal TV, with some of the best TV episodes of all time for both these shows. And some of the best finales as well. And while the show's probably not as consistent as the show, again, it's that weird book. This show better Breaking Bad, honestly. But again, it's just comes to rewatchability and comes down to, again, it's hard when it comes to ranking these different type of shows, honestly, just to let you know. I'm not saying this show is technically that, honestly, but it's a show I still love, and that's The Walking Dead. It's another show I actually do plan on doing like a big episode ranking series that's somewhere down the road. But yeah, The Walking Dead is definitely a show I'll get into a little later, but it's a show that has some of my favorite TV episodes ever, some of my favorite characters in television. Like, those first 5 seasons are incredible, and I still see 9, 10 are also incredible seasons. As well as even for The Walking Dead, a couple of good seasons, and the spin-offs are great, solid as well. Yeah, it's not a franchise that also not as good as it once was, but those 5 seasons will always hold a special place in my heart. And now we get to the newest entry on this list, a show that really jumped in the top 10 after season 2, and the most recent season, that is Arcane. It's Arcane so good, it ended up reaching the top 10. It's basically only has 2 seasons at the moment, but and I put bad number 3 because it only has 2 seasons, but Arcane is just a whole nother level. Like, both of those seasons are some of the best television you will ever come across. Like, holy shit. And considering it's a League of Legends show, I'm pretty sure nobody, not even the biggest League of Legends fans, ever expected Arcane of all shows to be an incredible piece of television with some of the most gorgeous visuals and animation, some of the most shocking moments in any form of media, some of the most really complex and engaging characters ever. Even with season 2 being a tad bit rushed and going like way too fast, honestly, but that's not really on the writer's fault. It's more the fact that they end up only on 2 seasons. But the fact that it still ended up being amazing really is just a testament to the quality. Like, there's so much to gush about this show that I would say just watch it for yourselves. And now let's look into a show that I was also a little late on. I don't remember exactly when I watched it, but I don't remember the one on the original list. But at number 7 we have Schitt's Creek, which honestly I think might be one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. Might be one show which because it's another one of those shows that I think the first season is not the greatest in the world, but after season 1, the show is just so incredible and phenomenal. And it's basically a show basically a family ends getting programs to move back to a town that they brought. And at first they end up coming across so unlikable, but in the end, go through some of the most compelling character arcs I have ever seen in any form of media. Some of the most incredible relationships in any form of media. One of those, and some of the most beautiful romantic relationships in any form of media. Like, Dan and Patrick are in the baby, my favorite team couple of all time. And all the characters go through so much incredible stuff throughout the season. You feel them grow throughout the show, while also being a show that's very consistently hilarious with the chemistry between the actors and having some touching and heartwarming and even moments that can make you a little teary-eyed. So yeah, Schitt's Creek is a very consistently one of the most consistent shows on this list. And you guys are not checked out Schitt's Creek, what the hell are you doing? And now we get to 2 more animated shows. We get to my favorite Cartoon Network show at number 6, which is Ed, and Eddie. Ed, and Eddie. Which again is a show that's always been my favorite Cartoon Network show, and for good reason. It's a show that's still in the top 10 for a good reason. It's endlessly watchable, consistently hilarious, endlessly quotable. Like, anytime the show be on, I would always watch it no matter what. It's a show that just puts a big grin on my face whenever I come back to it. And then number 5, we get to one of my favorite Disney animated shows, which is actually one of my favorite shows for a show actually topped it, and that is Gravity Falls. And 2 seasons, spanning 2 seasons, is a show that, again, it's also, again, it's rewatchable and it's quotable, has one of the best mysteries in any TV show ever. And it's one of the shows that I don't think has a true dud or bad episode. It has some outstanding, oh my god moments. I just can't help but just love this show. It's by only 2 seasons. It's a show that still has relevance to this very day, and for good reason. And now we get to my number 4, which is a show I'm actually currently doing an episode ranking series on. That is Drake and Josh. Again, as I'm filming this, I think I'll have like I upload episode rankings where I rank every season of the show. I look at every episode, and then top of my dots on it, and then end it with episode ranking. I've done that season 1 and 2 so far. I think I'm at season 2 episode I'm filming this. And I'm going to do season 3 and 4. And yeah, I love Drake and Josh. It's obviously one of my favorite shows of all time. It's my favorite Nickelodeon sitcom of all time. I don't think I need to say anymore. And now we get to another show, number 3, that I was a bit late to the party on, but I think I watched it before it actually ended, and that is BoJack Horseman. It's crazy that show that involves a talking horse ends up being one of the most emotionally poignant shows of all time. Again, so we're thinking in the first half of the season, you think it's going to be just your typical anime adult comedy, with a likable asshole. But after that first half, they go for some deep shit in this show. Like, really deep, relatable shit. While also still being consistent hilarious, and get to go through the most compelling arcs in any show. Like, holy shit. Again, it's one of those shows that it's just consistently hilarious, but also just relies on themes that are just the most relatable themes you will ever come across. Just wow. And now at number 2, we get to my favorite Disney Channel show and my favorite Disney animated show. Also, I read my top 3 are actually animated shows, actually, which I did not realize. So I guess they kind of started drinking. So I guess you can get like those 6 animated shows in your top 10, which I was not intentional, but that's good how great animated shows there are. But yeah, we get to my favorite Disney Channel show, and that's Amphibia. Again, we have another show that I do eventually plan on doing an episode ranking series on at some point down the road. I definitely want to do more of those big episode rankings and just gush more about these shows. And Amphibia is definitely one of those shows that honestly just gets better all the time, honestly. And especially has a couple episodes that really just hit home for me and were there for me at the right time. So I'll talk about that when we get there, but yeah, another show that's consistently hilarious, consistently great. One of the best pictures out there is just, yeah, Disney Channel always delivers when it comes to anime shows. And now we get to my number 1 favorite show of all time. Now, you guys know on my original list, my number 1 actually would be Survivor. But again, I did decide to exclude reality shows on this list just so I had a little more variety to it. Honestly, but if I would pick my favorite non-reality show on this list, I would go with Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think I've always said is that if I want to include reality shows, this show would be my number 1. It's crazy that next year that we're going to get more content this I believe next year or the year after. And then next year it's going to be 20 years since this show come out. Honestly, I also might do an episode ranking on this show at some point as well, so yeah. I don't know what's about it, but hasn't already been said. 3 incredible, masterful seasons that are incredibly filled with amazing storytelling, incredible character arcs, incredible action, just oh my god, what can I say about it hasn't already been said? Well, guys, I did it. I finally did my video on my top 50 best favorite TV shows of all time. I did my favorite films of all time, my favorite games of all time, and now I've done my favorite TV shows of all time. Or at least I updated this list at least, because it's been like 4, 5, 6 years since I've done my original list. So I think it makes sense, honestly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have been discussing on my favorite shows of all time. And again, let me know your favorites down below in the comment section. Let me know if there's any shows you think I should have put in this list, or shows that I think I should watch. Because again, I'm pretty sure there's some quick claim shows I have not seen yet. I thought maybe it could have been on this list, but you know, again, if I would watch every show, try to watch every show of all time, why would I hand this video out? So we'll see how it goes. There are definitely some other shows I do plan on watching later, like Supernatural, The Sopranos, and Lost. You can follow my TikTok. I'm on my shorts. You guys want to know my thoughts on every season as I watch it. So stay tuned. I'm coming very soon. And also, if I do get to 2K, I've all said that if I do eventually get to 2K subs, I will do a video discussing my top 100 favorite hit songs of all time. So that's gonna be a hard one. So if you guys want to see me do that, definitely let me know. And let me know what other big videos you guys want to see me down below. Like, want to see me do with my favorite TV characters, my favorite movie characters, gaming characters. Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, my social media links down in the description. I also do have merch. You guys want to support my channel any further, want me to have better quality videos in the future, because also I don't have, unfortunately, all the money in the world, but definitely let me down in the comment section. I am Sam One World, Sam One Productions. I will see you next time. As always, stay cool, everybody. Peace.